Ever wonder why you often feel overwhelmed, stressed, or taken advantage of? Picture this. You're constantly giving time and energy to others, whether it's at work, with family, or in relationships. But you never seem to have any time or energy left for yourself. You're always at the beck and call of everyone else's needs, wants, and expectations. Sounds familiar? Well, this common problem is often due to a lack of boundaries. Contrary to popular belief, boundaries are not a luxury. They're an absolute necessity. They're the invisible lines we draw around ourselves to maintain our mental and emotional health. When we don't set them, we leave ourselves open to exploitation, resentment, and even burnout. The absence of boundaries can drain us, leaving us feeling like we're running on empty. So, if you're feeling overwhelmed, stressed, or taken advantage of, don't despair. Well, the answer might be simpler than you think. It's all about setting healthy boundaries. The first step towards setting boundaries is understanding yourself. This is about cultivating self-awareness. It's about knowing who you are at your core and what you stand for. It's about identifying your personal needs, your values, and your feelings. And why is this important, you may wonder? Well, it's simple. If you don't know what you need, how can you expect others to respect those needs? Imagine you're at a buffet. There's a dazzling array of dishes, each more tantalizing than the last. But you can't possibly eat everything. You need to choose. And to choose well, you need to know what you like, what you don't like, what you're allergic to, and what makes you feel good. It's the same with boundaries. You need to know your emotional, mental, and physical limits. You need to know what nourishes you and what drains you. It's crucial to remember that it's not selfish to identify and prioritize your needs. It's necessary. You're not doing anyone any favors by neglecting yourself, least of all you. When you're on a plane, you're instructed to put on your oxygen mask before helping others. That's because you can't help anyone if you can't breathe. So, how do you cultivate self-awareness? It starts with self-reflection. Take some time each day to sit quietly with your thoughts. Ask yourself what you're feeling and why you're feeling it. Ask yourself what you need and if those needs are being met. Ask yourself what your limits are, and if they're being respected. This might feel uncomfortable at first. We're not used to turning the spotlight on ourselves, but with practice it becomes easier. And trust me, it's worth it. Because the more you understand yourself, the better you can communicate your needs to others, and the better you can protect your boundaries. So, take that time for self-reflection. Get to know yourself, recognize your limits, honor your needs. Remember, it's impossible to set effective boundaries if you're unsure of what you need. Once you've identified your boundaries, it's time to communicate them clearly. This is a crucial step in establishing healthy boundaries. But how do you do this without coming off as too aggressive or confrontational? Well, the secret lies in assertive communication. Assertive communication isn't about being domineering or pushy. It's about expressing your needs and wants in a respectful and straightforward manner. It's about standing up for yourself while also respecting the rights and feelings of others. Here are some tips on how to communicate your boundaries assertively. First, be clear and concise. Avoid using ambiguous language. Make sure that what you're saying accurately represents what you're feeling and what you need. For example, instead of saying, "I don't like it when you do that," try saying, "When you do this, it makes me feel uncomfortable, and I would prefer if you didn't." Second, use I statements. These focus on your feelings and experiences and are less likely to make the other person feel attacked. For instance, instead of saying, "You're always late," say, "I feel disrespected when I'm kept waiting." Third, practice active listening. This means not just hearing the other person but truly understanding their perspective. This shows respect and makes the other person more likely to respect your boundaries in return. Fourth, be consistent. If you communicate a boundary, stick to it. Consistency sends the message that you take your boundaries seriously, and so should others. Lastly, don't be afraid to seek help if you're struggling with this. It can be challenging to communicate boundaries, especially if you're not used to it. A counselor or therapist can provide valuable guidance and support. Remember, communicating your boundaries is not about controlling others or creating conflict. It's about promoting understanding, respect, and mutual well-being. It's about creating a space where everyone feels safe, valued, and respected. In the end, it's all about balance. Not too passive, not too aggressive, just assertive. Effective communication is key to ensuring your boundaries are respected. Because what good is a boundary if it's not clearly communicated and understood? Setting boundaries isn't a one-time deal, it requires consistency. Think of it this way. Imagine you're building a fence around your yard. You wouldn't just put up a few posts and call it a day, right? You'd make sure every inch of the boundary is covered, that each post is as strong and as straight as the last. The same applies to setting personal boundaries. You need to be as consistent with your boundaries as you would be with that fence. Consistency in maintaining boundaries is the cornerstone of their effectiveness. It's what makes them strong, reliable, and trustworthy. It's what signals to others that you mean business, that you respect yourself enough to ensure your boundaries are upheld, no matter what. That's the power of consistency. But what happens when we're inconsistent with our boundaries? Well, inconsistency can lead to confusion. It can send mixed signals, making others unsure of where they stand or what's expected of them. It can create a gray area where there should be only black and white. And in this gray area, boundaries can be easily disregarded, disrespected, or overlooked. That's why it's so crucial to be consistent. Remember, boundaries aren't just about saying no or not now. They're about creating a space for mutual respect, understanding, and communication. They're about carving out a place where you can thrive, undisturbed and unapologetic. And to do that, you need to be consistent. Being consistent with your boundaries isn't always easy. It requires vigilance, courage, and yes, sometimes a bit of stubbornness. But the rewards are well worth the effort. Consistency fosters trust, respect, and understanding. It helps you build stronger, healthier relationships. It empowers you to take control of your life, to honor your needs, and to live authentically. So, don't just set your boundaries and forget about them. Uphold them consistently, day in and day out. Reinforce them whenever necessary. Stay vigilant, stay strong, and stay true to yourself. Because, in the end, consistency is what gives your boundaries strength and credibility. Step 4 is about respecting others' boundaries as much as you want yours to be respected. It's a fundamental part of healthy relationships, whether they're friendships, romantic partnerships, or even professional connections. Just as we have our own comfort zones and limits, so do the people around us. Each individual has their unique boundaries based on their personal experiences, values, and needs. Let's say, for instance, you have a friend who's uncomfortable with spontaneous plans. Rather than pushing them to adapt to your spontaneity, you respect their need for structured planning. This doesn't mean you're giving up your spontaneity, but you're acknowledging their boundary and finding a balance that works for both of you. Understanding and respecting other people's boundaries is a practice in empathy. It's about putting yourself in their shoes and acknowledging their feelings. This mutual respect fosters healthier, more fulfilling relationships. It creates a safe space where everyone feels valued and heard. But how do you show respect for others' boundaries? It starts with active listening. Pay attention to their words, their body language, and their feelings. If you're unsure, don't hesitate to ask. It's better to clarify than to cross a line unknowingly. In the end, respecting boundaries is about creating a culture of mutual understanding and respect. It's about fostering connections that are based on empathy and consideration. It's about creating relationships that are balanced, fulfilling, and healthy. Remember, respect is a two-way street. The final step in setting healthy boundaries is practicing self-care. This isn't about indulging in a spa day or splurging on a shopping spree, although those can be part of it. Self-care is about understanding and meeting your own needs in a way that respects your boundaries and enhances your well-being. Let's start with physical self-care. This might mean ensuring you're eating well, getting enough sleep, and exercising regularly. These actions not only keep your body healthy, but they also provide the energy and resilience you need to uphold your boundaries. Next is emotional self-care. This can involve anything from journaling your thoughts and feelings, to seeking therapy, to taking time to laugh with friends. Emotional self-care helps you stay in tune with your emotions, making it easier to identify when your boundaries are being crossed. Finally, we have mental self-care. This includes activities that stimulate your mind and help you stay mentally sharp, like reading, learning a new skill, or even engaging in mindful meditation. Mental self-care can help you maintain clarity and focus, which are crucial for recognizing and enforcing your boundaries. Remember, self-care isn't a one-time event. It's a continuous process that needs to be integrated into your everyday life. And it's not about being self-absorbed or neglecting others. It's about taking care of yourself so you can be the best version of you and for those around you. Self-care is not selfish. It's essential for maintaining your boundaries. Scene script. Let's take a moment to summarize these 5 steps. Firstly, we delved into the importance of self-awareness, understanding your needs, and recognizing what makes you uncomfortable. Only when you truly understand yourself can you establish the boundaries that protect your well-being. Next, we highlighted clear communication. It's crucial to express your boundaries openly and respectfully. Your words can indeed make the difference between confusion and understanding. Our third step was consistency. Consistency in maintaining your boundaries is key. It helps others understand your limits and respect them. Fourth, we emphasize the need to respect others' boundaries. Just as you wish for your boundaries to be respected, it's equally important to respect the boundaries of others. Lastly, we explored the importance of practicing self-care. Taking care of your physical, emotional, and mental health is an essential part of maintaining healthy boundaries. Remember, setting healthy boundaries is a process, but with these steps, you're well on your way to creating a healthier, happier you.